Hey there, we're going to make a quest. I will put that quest directly in the game later, but first I will start making it as a mod so you can see how it's done and how you can create your own quests as mods for Stardeus. So let's begin. I have the game running. I'm gonna go to mods. Probably I'll just again open the Stardeus mod template. So it will give me a folder, but this time there was a different this time Stardeus mod template is downloaded from Steam Workshop. So it opened a different folder to me here. Yeah, it opened a different folder for me. It's in Steam Library. I didn't want that folder. So that's also important. That's why I'll probably keep this in. And so you'll know the difference. Let's just open user mod directory instead. So it's blank, right? It's blank. And this is the mod that was downloaded through the workshop, the Stardeus mod template. I wouldn't recommend downloading this one from the workshop. I would recommend going to GitHub. There will be a link right there. I always don't know where the link will be. Yeah, so when you go to GitHub and download that, you can just extract it here. But all you need for this is a few folders and the mod info JSON and mod cover. So let's just copy the mod cover, mod info JSON. Let's copy the translations folder. Let's copy the config folder. And we probably will not need anything else. So in the config folder, let's delete anything that is inside. Translations English, let's keep that in. We'll have to change that a little bit. Then mod info needs to change. So let's just edit this whole folder with Visual Studio Code. All right, mod info. Let's call this quest provide hygiene. And okay. Quest, yeah, the name will be quest provide hygiene facilities, something like that. A quest to build a shower and a toilet for your human colonists. So that was the quest I wanted to add to the game. And we will just make it happen as a mod first. So I set the game version to the one that is the latest right here, 06100. You don't need to take the last number, which is the build number. Just three numbers here. Right, so 06100 is the version. Mod version could start with 1. We have filled in everything out, but Steam Workshop, for now, I'm going to set this to false because we don't want to upload to Workshop just yet. When this is set to true, you're going to get a button that allows you to upload to Workshop. So this is something you should know. But we can just delete it for our purposes right now. Mod cover, I'll just leave it as it is. Now, okay, config. This is where the quests will go. So now I'm going to cheat a little bit because... Wait, I'm not going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to do it as anyone would. Let's imagine I have no access to the source code of the game. So I just downloaded the game, maybe even a demo, and I want to make this mod with a quest. I don't know anything about how to get the source code. But I can see that there's this core mod here. So if I click open, it will open... Wait, that's the wrong folder. Yeah, this is what was open. It is just a folder with the core game. So all the files here are the core game. If you go to config, you'll find quests. If you go to quests, there's a bunch of quests here, like colonize planet, connect to stasis area, connect to survivor area, enclose stasis area, establish food production. The quest for shower and toilet will be similar to establish food production or to provide charge station. Now I'm thinking which one is a better option. I think provide charge station is the simpler to copy. So let's copy the whole provide charge station folder. And yeah, I want to go to my mods here. Oh, I made a mistake here. I made a huge mistake because I am creating the mod directly in the mods folder. I should have added a new folder to contain the mod in. So let's fix this right now. The folder needs to be called something like mod quest provide hygiene. And now we will drop all the files and folders around inside that, so it's contained in its own folder. That's a must. Now we're going to go to config, and we will paste that provide charge station that we copied. I could just drag and copy here again. Yeah, so provide a charge station now has these files. Let's just jump in to our Visual Studio Code, and here we can see what's going on. Mod info is still there, but we moved things around a little bit. So in config, we can see this provide a charge station directory. Let's rename that. So let's rename this to our quest name, quest ID. This folder name will automatically be used as a quest ID. So it's important to name it correctly. Leave no spaces, use camel case. So let's call this provide hygiene. Yeah, it's going to be the quest ID, provide hygiene. Keep in mind that if you change this, it will break the existing saves in a way that they will not be broken, but you will not have progress anymore because the quest ID will be not available and it will just lose the progress. Okay, so what do we want to do here? First, maybe let's make it bigger so you can read better. I should probably have started like this. Yeah, I should have. But I'm still learning to do these videos, so bear with me. Right, so provide hygiene. ID for the mod info is okay, but then here we have to rename this file. So the 00 file, the 00 JSON is the start step. So it should be, the convention is that it should be named 00 underscore and the quest ID. So 00 underscore provide hygiene. Step ID will be start. Don't modify that. Is tutorial. If it's an advanced quest, you should set this to false, but this is like hygiene for your colonists. It's basically a tutorial quest, so you'll know that you need to provide showers and toilets for your colonists. Now rewards could be anything. There are different kinds of rewards. In this case, we have the research unlock. But let's just open up core mod for a while. Let's jump over to the core mod folder, to the quests, namely. I'm gonna right click and do open with code. This will open another instance of Visual Studio Code, and we can see all the quests that are in the game right now. These are all the quests. Yeah, no, it's not much yet, but it's early access, so there will be more. Let's see what rewards other quests have. So colonize a planet as money. So you could give money as a reward, see? You can have the currency, which right now is only star credits and an amount. This is the end game quest to colonize a planet, so that's why it gives very big amount of money. Connect to stasis array, another quest. It unlocks a science research. I think for hygiene, we could actually go into the game real quick and see the research tree. So we could choose what we could grant for this quest. I want to grant some progress on a research for this. And it probably should be something from the biotech branch. So to do hygiene, we'll have to request the player to research this one. And I think it would be nice to give a little bit of progress on a research which is pretty expensive, like this auto dock. So AutoDoc is tier 3 research. This is tier 1, but if we complete this quest, we could give maybe something like 10% on AutoDoc. Or we could, for example, provide... Yeah, you know, tier 2 will be more meaningful. Let's give like 25% on recycling for this. Because recycling will then lead to nutrient extraction, and then you can do meat from your colonists. Cannibalism in space. Yeah, so this is what we will do. We will give some percentage for recycling. So now we have to find a quest that has a reward which provides some percentage. There will be such a quest. See, there's connect to survivor area, and then the rewards has 2 rewards actually. You can have more than one reward. The one is research progress, another one is research unlock. So we're going to copy this block here. Yeah, we're going to copy this. And let's move this away. Let's go into like our quest to provide hygiene. And rewards, I'm just going to like insert it right here, paste it. And let's remove the previous block that was here. And also this comma is not necessary, so let's get rid of that. Now the research ID, if you are not sure what it is, you can again go to the core mod. This is the core mod, and the research will be in core config. So if you look at the core mod, this is the contents. In the config folder, no, not in the config, in definitions folder, there will be research. And let's open that with code. Or maybe let's just open the whole core mod with code. Yeah, let's open that. So it's easier to see for you then because it's bigger font. You go to definitions, research, and it's under biotech. And we want to grant recycling. So there it is. And the ID is here, research/recycling. So you can copy that. And then switch to the other instance of Visual Studio Code where we are working on our mod. And mod quest, provide hygiene. And now research key here is research. String is the ID of the research. So let's delete this and paste what we copied. So research recycling. And the amount is from 0 to 1. 1 is 100%. We want to give maybe a small amount on recycling. Let's give 20%. So 0.2 will be 20% of recycling. So that is our quest name and quest reward, right? Yeah, quest ID, start step, tutorial true, and rewards. That's all we need for the start. Now, we have, since we copied this from provide a HR station, we have like the intermediate steps and we have the end step. One of the steps for this, yeah, let's think what steps are to provide hygiene. So let's just jump back into the game real quick. So to provide hygiene, we want to build a shower and a toilet. And for that, we have to actually unlock hygiene research. So there must be a step to unlock hygiene research. So you know what I'll do? I'll probably delete the other steps so it's not going to be confusing here. Let's delete every step except for the one that we have. So our mod is just, now it has just the first step, nothing else. So the next step we want to do is going to be, I will copy it from another, from the core. So let's go to core, let's go to config. So I just switched Visual Studio Code if you wonder how I got there. I had this core mod open through the game, edited it in Visual Studio. Maybe I'm over explaining it, but better be safe than sorry. So the core mod in Visual Studio Code, we go to config quests again. And then there is a bunch of quests. Some of these will have a requirement to research something. So for example, I know that connect to stasis area has an optional step to research winch. So we can just open that. And we can just copy the whole content and then switch back to our quest provide hygiene. So I'm going to create a new file in the provide hygiene quest. We're going to call it 10 underscore research hygiene .json. You can just copy the whole file as well and rename it, but I just like typing. So I'm going to paste the step from research winch. Now this step ID, okay, I made a small mistake here. It should be research, let's rename. I hit F2 to rename, research underscore hygiene. And it should match the step ID without the first number and underscore. It's a convention. It's not really necessary, but it's a convention I follow. And if you follow it as well, it will be closer to the core. So research hygiene is the step type of research. Optional, it's not optional in this case. So let's make it false, because you cannot really build a shower and toilet without unlocking the research hygiene. So it needs to be here. It depends on start, which means it will be the first step that we see. You can have multiple steps depending on start, so then all of them would be visible right up front. And config properties will have research hygiene. So we can just, I know that it's going to be research / hygiene. Hygiene, there. But you can double check by, again, switching to core mod. This is the core mod, and we can go to definitions, research, hygiene, and yes, it is indeed research / hygiene. Yeah, so let's switch back. And now we have the first step to research the hygiene. But after this step, we will want to actually ask the player to build stuff. So let's go back to core mod quests and see if there are any steps that we could borrow and reconfigure them. So the same provide charge station quest or provide food production. Yeah, establish food production has a step like that. Have on grid. Yeah, there's two different things. That's also a good thing that I wanted to make this particular quest. Have on grid step will require to build plus connect something. And it only works with devices that are actually electricity enabled. So shower and toilet are not electricity enabled, at least right now. It means that you can just build them and that's it. You cannot put them on your grid. So if you take have on grid step, it will not work with the toilet. But there are steps where I think when we want to connect to stasis area, we have this build winch anchor step. So winch anchor is also a dumb device which just provides a anchor for the winch hook, which you can then connect to and drag the section together. But we're going to use that step to have a build toilet and build shower. So I'm just copying this whole content of the build winch anchor and switching over to my mod. And in the config provide hygiene, we're creating a new file again, and it's going to be 20 underscore build underscore toilet .json. Now if we paste this, step ID should match, so let's change that to build underscore toilet. Step type is build, which means that we just need to build something, and it's not optional, we want this to be mandatory. So let's change that to false. It depends on research hygiene. So we know that it has a research winch from that copied thing. So let's change that to research underscore hygiene. And it should match exactly, if we switch here, it should match exactly to this step ID. So you can just copy this step ID, switch to the next one, depends on, paste this here. It could depend on multiple things. So if you it's an array, so you can have multiple steps like other step and so on. It means that all the steps have to be completed in order to make this next step available. But in this case, it's only just research hygiene. And now we have to build something, and there's also a count that we could provide, so we could see ask to build several toilets, but it's going to be enough to have just one. Now definition Definition is also something you have to know how to find. So the objects that you want to build have a definition, and it will be available in... I just switched to the core mod right now. Yeah, there will be definitions. So this will be in objects. What is the difference between OBJ and objects? Objects are tiles. OBJ are objects that are floating in space, like piles of steel are OBJ. But for example, toilet is an object. So objects, devices. Yeah, because it's not furniture, it's a device. Well, sort of a device. And then you scroll down and search for toilet. There we go, toilet. So now there's some magic involved here because there's no ID defined here. There's no ID. So how do we actually figure out what the ID is? So the ID is actually in the file path because the game resolves the ID automatically. So the path is going to be anything after definitions. So the first folder is objects, the second folder is devices, and then goes the toilet.json. So we can also see this here: objects, devices, toilet.json. So let's switch back to this, and we see that there was already objects, devices here. So now instead of winch anchor, we're going to replace that and write toilet. You don't have to write .json. It will not work if you do this. It cuts the extension away. So yeah, this step to build a toilet, that's all it needs to have. And then we also need a step to build a shower, and that's super easy. We just copy the toilet step. It actually can have the same 20 as a prefix, because there's not really any difference if either the toilet or the shower will be built. What's the order of that? There's no difference, because after you unlock hygiene, you can build either of them. So it's up to the player to choose the order. That's why we will just use it as 20. So the 0 is the starting step, which will just show us the pop-up and show the rewards. Then this will show us the first step to unlock hygiene. When this is done, well, these two steps will be available. Now the toilet and shower, yeah, I just copied shower, forgot to change anything else here. So you have to go, after changing the name to build shower, you have to go inside and change this to build shower. And then you have to make sure, okay, dependencies are still the same because hygiene unlocks the shower and the toilet. And in definitions, you can just double check, but I know that it will be just shower instead of toilet. So objects/devices/shower is the definition ID for this. And we're almost done. We can now test, and we'll see what we're missing. We're going to be missing translations, but I'll first want to see if we manage to configure the quest in a way that it will show up. So let's just exit to the operating system and restart the game. And hopefully we'll see that there will be a new thing visible in the mods. Let's just go to the mods, and we can see quest provide hygiene facilities. It's definitely here. A quest to build a shower and a toilet. Again, Stardeus mod template cover image should be changed if you want to publish this on Steam Workshop. Now let's if we load the game, technically we will get that quest right away. Yeah, I think we should, because that's also, you know what, that's important to check before we go. Provide hygiene. It doesn't have any dependencies. If we would go to the core and go to core quests, config quests, let's see, colonize the planet, which is the endgame quest. It has unlocks after block. We didn't put an unlocks after block in our quest, which means it will be unlocked right off the bat. Like when you start the game, you will get that quest. We will want to fix that, but let's just first, I don't know. Let's say we start a new game and skip the tutorial and see what happens. I think we should get that quest. But we'll also get another quest, because there will be a quest to provide a charge station. So basically we will get two quests at once. Skip tutorial, provide a charge station. Oh, that we only got one quest. That's interesting. I wonder why. Let me check. Also, there's this thing where we can hit the tilde key, and there's a command called quest. If you press that, there's the quest subcommands add quest, add, and we can see what the available quests are. So provide hygiene apparently is not listed here. Something is not right because we don't have the provide hygiene listed.
3 days later.
And we have config. Oh, okay, so that's the bug. That's the bug. It's a good example on how a bug in the configuration could be overlooked. Because in the core mod, in the core mod we have config, then quests, and then the quests. And here I just have the folder to provide hygiene inside the config, and I forgot that it actually has to be inside quests underneath the config. So if I create the quests, plural, it has to match exactly, and drop the provide config inside, we can see that now we have config/quest/provide hygiene. And let's restart the game. Every time you do such changes, you have to restart the game in order to apply them. Now, hopefully we will get that quest. I can double check immediately if we go to quest add. Okay, this only works when we play the game. So let's start that new game again. Alright, we still somehow got only one quest. Quest add. Provide hygiene is here. Why didn't we get it? Let me check the code again.
3 days later.
I will show you also a way to add yourself a quest if it has some preconditions. So there's this quest add, right? Quest add provide hygiene. Enter, and here we have our quest. So this is how we can test it. So now if we go, since we had an active quest, it wasn't switched, we just have this in available now. And you can see there are missing translations. So there's quest.provide hygiene, just showing up like that. And if we go here, I think we might see that, no, there's no missing translations. Text logged. And yeah, you can see that there's this like research hygiene step. So if we actually unlock hygiene through research, it will unlock the next step. I can cheat. Let's go open dev menu. And there's this finish research queue. So I'm going to add hygiene to the research queue and unlock it immediately in the dev mode. So keep in mind that if you use these features that I'm about to use, your Control F2 is going to open that menu again. If you hover, it says the shortcut. If you use this menu, yeah, opening it does nothing bad, but if you use anything here, it will kill the achievements. At least not everything. Camera tools is safe, but story events or finish research queue, which I'm about to do, kills the achievements. So now you can see that the first step is done. Research hygiene is done because we just cheated our way through and did that. Now we have to build a shower and build a toilet. So yeah, and as you can see, it's also like having all the translations, all the dynamic paths, how to find the shower and the toilet. So we can now just jump over to our survivor area and do facilities, shower. If I hit the bracket key, I'm gonna get back into the wheel and can choose the toilet. And I'll just wait for these to be built. And I hit 4 for the secret high speed. And our quest should be done when this is finished. There we go, quest completed. Quest.provide hygiene, I'll show you in a minute how to do the translations. So we should have received recycling plus 20%. Let's verify if that's the case. Recycling is at 20% right now, so that's working. If we switch back to show quests, we can see that the active quest to provide a charge station is back again. It was in the available once we switched over. Yeah, so this is how you do the quest. Now let's actually make that quest. Let's make two things. So I have found a bug that the quest was not given for some reason at the very start of the game, although it should have. But it's okay. I'm gonna fix that bug on the side. But now let's make this quest actually unlock itself after, for example, build a charge station quest is done. Just for a test, I'm gonna switch again to the core and copy the unlocks after block. Let me copy that real quick. Copy. Now head over to the provide hygiene quest step 00, and I'm going to add a comma after the bracket here and paste. So unlocks after. We need the quest ID here. So for the test, it can also be a list. It could be more than one. So for the test, I'm going to jump back to the core, find the provide charge station, which is the first quest, and it's very easy to finish. So I'm just going to copy the provide charge station. Well, I need to copy the folder name, so I'm just going to go to rename with Control C to copy, hit escape, step back, and now, oh, wait a minute, there we go, paste provide charge station. So unlocks after provide charge station. Now with this, we can restart the game, and we're going to quickly start a new game, and I will provide the charge station very quickly so we can see how this new quest will be given to us. Hopefully. Okay, let's skip the tutorial. Provide the charge station is the first quest. I'm gonna just speed run through it. Maybe speed it up a bit in the video. There we go. The quest was completed. We have unlocked technology. This was the reward. But now we can see that there's a bubble with 2, which means that we have 2 pending notifications here. One of them will be the quest to provide hygiene, which is our new quest. And there's also a quest.providehygiene.desk, which is requiring a translation. So it's a description of the quest. We'll add that in a moment. And then there's also the connect to stasis array quest. So as you can see, we just injected a new quest in between the provide a charge station and connect to stasis array. So we're now having like one more quest in there. And if we switch to the available tab, we can see that there's this connect to stasis array. We can set that to active, and in the available, we can now see provide hygiene. Okay, so 2 things I want to do now. First is the translations, which is very important. You will always have to make translations. You can try to cheat in some places and just hardcode English, but if you do that, your mod will not be great. To make a great mod, it has to be using the translation system. So we go to translations. I will actually have to fix this a little in the example. So this is what you need to have, is the first line. This is a requirement. It's a header. It can be anything. You can add some comments here, but it has to have 4 columns. It has to have a key column, translation column, version column, and comment column. So 4 columns. Now there is this other stuff here. The other stuff is the keys and values and versions and comments. So version and comment is optional, but key and value is mandatory. Now I'm going to show you a very easy way how to work with translation, so you will not get intimidated by the syntax that you have to do here, because if you actually look at English version, and you'll see that there are sometimes like quotes around, sometimes there are triple quotes around here or double quotes. It is all there required to escape the fields, because if there's a comma in the middle of the translation, you have to put everything around in quotes. If there's quotes, you have to put more quotes to escape those, and it's a nightmare. So all you need to do is this. You just go, open a blank Google Sheet, then open the CSV file with your translations. So after you have that Google Sheet, note where your English CSV file is. You can find it in your new quest folder, translations, English CSV. And now you can go back to your spreadsheet and do insert, no, not insert, import. And then you can go to upload. In the upload, you can just drag and drop this English CSV file. And you'll see what you'll get. Create new spreadsheet, detect automatically, that's all good, import data. And open now. Okay, it should have, you should have probably done replace spreadsheet. Yeah, because otherwise it would just create a copy. So there we go, we have this. And then there's key. If you double click on these rows, it will auto expand. So there's key translation. You can make this bold if you want. You can also make this like view freeze one row. So you can do something like that. Let me also make it bigger. Of course. Right, so you need two keys and values. This is just an example of how can we put some variables in and stuff. So let's just delete all that. You need quest.provide hygiene. I'm just typing it from memory, but hygiene. But you can just pause the game when you get the quest.key .quest ID there. You can pause and to just see what the key is. And then I know that there will be quest.provide.hygiene.desk for the description. So the translation, it's an English translation. And you can also call it anything, like, for example, quest provide hygiene English. Yeah, so the translation will be provide hygiene facilities. Why can't I type hygiene? Hygiene. And the description will be something about your colonists. Your colonists are now pooping in the planters. They will appreciate if you build them a toilet and a shower so they can regain some dignity. Yeah, so it's up to you. Also, I like to do view, no, not view, format, wrapping, wrap. So it would fit in the smaller column. Yeah, so this is all you need to do here. Then you also could add comment for translators if there's some variables in there. We'll cover this later. And also, it's very nice to add some color to the text here when you can. So toilet and shower, first of all, let's capitalize toilet and shower because these are devices, and the convention is that the devices are often capitalized. And if you add the bold tag around it, HTML tag to start and end, the ending has the backslash, also around the shower, bold, and bold with a slash to end. Don't forget the dot in the end of the sentence. Let's read this. Your colonists are now pooping in the planters and have nowhere to wash themselves, nowhere to clean themselves up. Maybe let's see in the planter, because usually there's just one planter in the beginning. So your colonists are now pooping in the planter and have nowhere to clean themselves up. They will appreciate if you build them a toilet in the shower so they can regain some dignity. Yeah, that's all. Now we do file, download, comma separated values. This will allow you to download the CSV file. When you do this, choose the folder with the translations with the English CSV and just rewrite it. So just select the English CSV. If you don't know where the translations are, like if you do save as and you cannot find this, there's an easy way. Since you have this open already, you can just copy this path here and paste it here. It will be the same path for me. And then, yeah, just overwrite the English, replace it, jump back to your file here, and you see already that there's some quotes around this translation, no quotes around this one, and it's all good. So you don't really need to learn how to do CSV files. So let's turn on word wrap here. Yeah, so you don't need to learn how to do CSV files. Just put it on Google Sheet and export. That's the easiest way. Now if we run the game, our translation should show up. So let's do that. Let's verify. And this time I'm going to load something existing, like an existing save, and see if we get that quest. And you can see, okay, the quest to provide hygiene translations did not go through. I wonder why.
3 days later.
So since I just fixed the bug with the translations not loading, I want to show you how it looks when the text is translated here. So this is what we get. New quest, provide hygiene facilities. Your colonies are now pooping in the planter and have nowhere. I would say pooping in planters would be greater. Yeah, we will get the text right, but the idea is that this is how it should look. And as you can see, the bold tags are replaced with colors. So it's looking nice. Yeah, so still, we already made a quest. I will put this on GitHub. The link will be there. It will be an exact copy of the quest that is in the game. So, well, maybe not the exact copy, but the current copy that I just made on camera. In the game, there might be a bit more tweaks, and I will hopefully fix the bug with the translations not loading from the mod by releasing this video. Yeah, so that's how you create quests. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy modding Stardeus and enjoy playing Stardeus. See you in the next video.